1, 2, 3, cheese. Go.
Our first stop is Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad.
Oh, now we're at.
What?
Now we're at.
We're going to ride the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad.
Okay. Where do you want to go?
Here,
The open air ones.
Air one.
Let's ride in the open air ones.
I want to go in.
Here.
Look at Mom. No, let's go in.
Okay, cool. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry.
No problem. No, you're great.
Oh.
You're great.
C'est your problem.
I've never seen a caboose. Yeah, can I sit here? It's these. These are like.
Are we allowed to?
You are.
All right, why don't you climb up first? And I'll show you.
Happy, you're too bulky. You're not bulky, Happy.
Want me to hold heavy?
Yeah. This. Oh, you can have you too. There's a window. This is wonderful.
Okay, look here. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Hold up.
Hi. None of us want to be up here, though.
Alright, so we're in the caboose?
Yeah. We're in the caboose, and this is the most unique seat, but we're not going to... Well, I'm not going to stay here because I'd rather be in the open air. I'm just going to climb up.
Well, this is so unique. I might stay here.
Oh, yeah, you can see the tops of the train cars.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And you can see Barney and Doc go up.
Oh, let's follow up both of you. 1, 2, 3,
Oh, we made it to the...
No, there's conductors somewhere. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Alright, one time. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Huh? Yeah.
Also, is there a board? Oh, we're going backwards.
All aboard?
All aboard. We're going to be riding to a halfway point where we get a 10-minute break to see the coach run.
Yeah.
The city of Portland has burned 4 tons. In 1676, the village of Portland was completely destroyed by the Abenaki people during King Philip's War. The British destroyed 414 out of 600 buildings in Portland, left almost half the population without homes. After rebuilding, Portland burned yet another ton with a fire that began on July 4th of 1860. The fire spread to a lumber shed, a sugar house, and spread across the city.
Look at the stuff sticking out.
It took decades, however, for Congress to agree to funding the construction of the new fort. It wasn't until 1857 the fort was properly funded. The fort was finally completed in 1865.
Yeah, they say you can't.
Cannot?
Advancements in warfare technology had already made the brand new Fort Georges obsolete in 1800s. It was called locally the name like Little Diamond Island was more attractive to wealthy vacationers than today Google. The east end of Little Diamond Island was formerly a Coast Guard Bowie depot. To the left of Little Diamond Island is Great Diamond Island, down from Guam Canal in November of that year. Past the Coast Street crossing, the landscape opens up a bit for the final segment of our route to the bridge. Out in the water, you might be able to see a small...
Does it ask if you operate?
Which train do you like better, this one or the...
Railroad swing bridge. We'll be here for about 8 to 10 minutes or so. Once it's time to get back on board, I'll give you that all aboard call, and we'll be on our way. It's now safe to disembark onto the ocean side of the train, and if you do choose to do so, we just kindly ask that you stay on the ocean side of the train and behind the ropes for everyone's safety. If you have any questions...
Yep. Oh, do you want to say first we stopped for how many, like... Yep.
We reached the end of the rail where... We reached the end of the rail where we get to come out for 8 to 10 minutes. And this is a bridge that got burned down in 1984 by arsonists, but they were never able to catch the culprit.
It's by arsonist.
Huh?
It's by...
What? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Mukha.
Oh.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Oh, yeah, Mukha's blocking heavy.
That's fine.
1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, 1, 2, 3, cheese. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Wrong button. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Yeah.
And you're also more than welcome to sit in the cupola up there if you'd like.
The train. As we return to the forward, 3 whistles mean that the train is clear to move backward. 1 short whistle means that the train is completely stopped. There are a couple other whistle signals you might hear on our ride back to the station. The whistle signal of long, and short, and long means that the train is approaching a vehicle crossing, and that the road traffic must stay out of the way of the train. The sequence comes from the Morse code for the letter Q. In Victorian England, ships would blow their whistle in the long, short, long sequence to announce, "Make way for the Queen." Even though the United States never had a queen, the same code was adopted to make sure the road crossings were kept clear for the train. Another signal you might hear during the trip back is the long blast of the whistle. This signal means that the train is approaching a pedestrian crossing. Without vehicles to warn to stay away, 1 long blast of the whistle is enough to warn pedestrians to watch out for the train. The state of Maine has a unique history of railroad. Grand Trunk Railway's tracks that we're riding on today were first laid by the St. Lawrence and Atlantic Railroad in 1846. This route carried passengers, mail, food, freight, and supplies between Portland and Montreal. The line was created so that when the deep water Portland tunnels hit. The term narrow gauge refers to any set of tracks whose rails are placed closer together before feeding the axles. By placing the rails closer together, trains can take sharper turns. You can handle going up and down steep hills easier, and usually it would cost 1/2 to 1/3 as much to build a narrow gauge railroad compared to the state's economy remained underdeveloped. The rocky hills and challenging landscape made it too costly for the railroad to build when it needed to go. The railroad promoter at this time, named George Mansfield, sensed an opportunity. He had a unique idea to achieve it. And Mansfield had previously visited Wales, where the landscape closely resembled the climate and rocky conditions in northern New England were successful. These included the Wiscasset, Waterville, and Farmington Railroad, the Bridgeton and Harrison Railroad, Kennebec Central, and the... Although 2-foot narrow gauge railroads did operate in some other parts of the country, no other state had near foot track miles or operational complexity as Maine had in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Maine was especially unique in the United States in this regard. By the late 1920s, T. Atwood, and he played a crucial role in saving Maine's 2-foot railroad history from extinction. Atwood purchased all the remaining 2-foot equipment that he could find in immediate range. He called this railroad the Edaville Railroad, named after his own initials, EDA. Sometimes even that name. Interest in riding the unique small passenger train quickly spread far, and Atwood capitalized by turning a small farm railroad into a fully passenger tourist-centric operation. Atwood to operate and preserve narrow gauge trains for the enjoyment and education of the public. Started in 1984, rails met. This time, spaced rails 2 feet apart to run narrow gauge trains. Since 1993, Maine Narrow
Form side of the train, we just kindly ask that everyone remain seated until we come to a full and complete stop. Thank you. Here today at the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad. It's been a pleasure having you on board. Really appreciate you all coming out and visiting us today, helping us to keep this important part of Maine's history alive. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.
Okay, so we met the conductor on board and he's going to tell us some facts about this railroad.
So we are the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad here in Portland, Maine, operating 2-foot narrow gauge trains on what was once the St. Lawrence and Atlantic and then the Grand Trunk Railroad line, which ran trains all the way up to Montreal to keep them supplied in the winter months when their port froze over. So our 2-foot narrow gauge tracks were converted to 2-foot from 4-foot 8.5 inches, which is the standard gauge, back in 1992. Passionate group of volunteers got the railroad started and gave a bunch of these older cars here a home back in their original state of Maine. So the Grand Trunk Railroad, before they shut down, they operated their train up to Montreal. They would load all the cargo on their off of the ships here in the port onto the freight trains here. This whole area here used to be a gigantic rail yard. And then they would run the trains up the 1.5 miles, which is our line, and then past the over the old swing bridge, which burnt down in 1984, and up to Montreal. Thanks so much for joining us.
So this track just went all the way to Canada.
Yeah, it did go all the way to Canada. Yep. Yeah, keeping them supplied in the winter months because their port was more shallow and it would freeze over in the winter. But our port could take large ships all year round. It's built in 1903, and the combine car at the end was built in 1891.
I like how the outdoor car has the elevated seating that you can just look at.
Those cars are great, yeah. I really like how all the seats give you a great view no matter where you sit. And those were built in the 1960s by the Edaville Railroad in South Carver, Massachusetts.
And what was that seat that he was on earlier called again?
Oh, that's up there is the cupola. C-U-P-O-L-A.
Cupola.
Yeah.
So, what type of person would choose to sit up there?
Great question.
That's
right. It used to be the members of the train operating crew would sit up there, give them a good view of everything that's going on with the train. On some newer cabooses, some types of cabooses would have it actually sort of hang off the side of the train.
That would be
there.
even cooler.
Yeah, and that could give them a view of everything going on the side of the train while it was en route.
Did people sit on the roof?
They did have ladders for accessing the roof for maintenance if needed.
Like
hitchhikers. I'm not entirely sure. Not all that common, but it's possible that way back in the day there were. There were.
1, 2, 3, cheese. Museum. Okay.
Now we're checking out the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad and Museum. Oh wait, no, the Maine Narrow Gauge Museum. Hold on. We're checking out the Maine Narrow Gauge Museum.
What postcard do you want to get for Portland?
This is from the actual track. This is from the actual track. That's so cool.
One, 2, 3, cheese. One more time. 1, 2, 3, and cheese.
Jackson, smile to your ears. Jackson, look at mommy.
Go.
For $5 more, you can book a first. For $5 more, you can buy a first class ticket, which includes padded seats and For $5 more, you can buy a first class ticket, which includes padded seats, a drink, and a snack.
Alright, and go.
The train we'll be riding is a narrow gauge, which means the track is only 2 feet wide.
No, it's usually 3.
No, it's usually 4.5.
Or 4.5.
You didn't even get the number correctly. And also, that's not for narrow gauge, that's for standard gauge.